Tesla has been number one in consumer satisfaction multiple years in a row, according to Consumer Reports. Even in their most recent survey, which was reported earlier this month, Tesla was number one once again, topping the list and beating out every other company in owner satisfaction. Now, we've been critical of Consumer Reports in the past, saying that their reports don't actually reflect real consumer sentiment. They've been known to flip-flop around, trying to find something wrong with Tesla vehicles. At one point last year, for example, they were showing people how to rig the steering wheel in a Tesla to try to get the car to drive with no one in the passenger's seat. Last year, in November 2021, they gave Tesla a low reliability score for the Model S, X, and Y, while keeping their recommendation rating on the Model 3, but placing it in the middle of their rankings for reliability. Now, this seems to have angered one-time Tesla enthusiast, Ben Sullins, who appears to have soured on Tesla in a recent posted video where he completely trashed the entire company and its CEO Elon Musk. Now, he references the negative Consumer Reports reliability survey from last year, leaving out Consumer Reports' very positive survey where they ranked Tesla as the number one brand. But Sullins seems to be focusing on some potential issues at Tesla and has some very harsh words for the company, going as far as saying that they may be rotting from the inside out. He even calls Elon Musk a maniac at one point. Now, my goal is to always look at Tesla through the lens of an investor and to try to figure out if something is truly wrong with the company. The question is Ben Sullins right about what he has to say? And we'll go through many of his points. But if he is right, is this something that has a real impact on Tesla's business? And by the way, stop using Yahoo Finance, stop using Google Finance, and have a look at our website, themarketisopen.com, where we have instant stock quotes and financial data going back 10 years, and it's all freely available. Now, Sullins begins by discussing how Tesla's mission was originally to accelerate the transition to sustainable transportation. But after Tesla purchased Solar City, they changed the mission to accelerating the transition to sustainable energy. He then references a BS article saying that shareholders want Elon Musk to pay back $13 billion for the acquisition of Solar City. Now, to be clear, Solar City was purchased by Tesla for just $2.6 billion. And on top of that, any shareholders would have enjoyed easily a 20 times return on their investments by continuing to hold on to their Tesla stock. So this is a situation of a small group of greedy shareholders who are desperately trying their luck to try to get some money that they don't deserve. So it's easy to make up some numbers and then reference the articles discussing the made-up numbers, but I'm surprised Sullins brings this up because it seems to greatly reduce his credibility as he attempts to bash Tesla, saying how terrible the company is. Furthermore, Tesla updating their mission from advancing sustainable transportation to sustainable energy is correct and makes more sense. Today, in addition to cars, they also sell solar and stationary battery solutions, which if you think long-term, as Elon Musk has said on multiple occasions, it's necessary for creating this sustainable ecosystem where you're essentially gaining this ability to drive your car using sunlight. I don't see why Sullins has a problem with this, and from an investor perspective, this also increases the total addressable market for Tesla products, which is great. Now, Sullins goes on to play a compilation of clips where Elon is shown over-promising for Tesla's full self-driving software. He says that today, there are more customers than ever who have paid for FSD, that actually sounds like a good thing, and then goes on to assure his viewers that FSD isn't going to work for a long time to come. He states that Tesla FSD is a complete disaster and can tank the entire company. Now, this is an interesting way of scaring people and spreading some more FUD around Tesla. Now, Tesla is actually quite careful with how they sell FSD. The first thing is that it's not actually called FSD. That's just the short form since it's a nice acronym and people are lazy. On Tesla's website, it's called Full Self-Driving Capability, and Tesla lists the features that come with it when you make the purchase. It should also be noted that Tesla isn't allowed to recognize any revenue for something that they haven't delivered. So when you buy full self-driving capability, part of that money shows up on Tesla's income statement right away, but the other portion gets put into a separate account where Tesla can only show that money as revenue once they hit certain milestones and deliver the features that they promised when you made the purchase. So I think Sullins is dead wrong when he says this will somehow tank the company. Even if Tesla never gets FSD fully working, the current version still has tremendous value and very useful features that Tesla clearly lays out upon purchase. and that's what people are paying for. They happen to get free software updates forever into the future. Now, I agree that Elon has overpromised on FSD in the past, but everything he says that will happen in the future is a forward-looking statement, meaning that it could change. Clearly, full self-driving is a much harder problem than anyone thought, but taking a step back, Tesla has made some pretty insane progress over the last year, and while they may continue to see delays, it does look like they're getting much closer and are way ahead of any other company that is working on a pretentious LiDAR-based version. Sullins goes on to say that Tesla insurance is fraught with problems, but doesn't provide any details of this. What happened to Ben Sullins' slogan of free the data if he's not looking at any data? I think one very common mistake is finding one or two terrible stories and extrapolating based on those. This reminds me of a presentation I once had to give on the company's Salesforce to a group of engineers, and I showed that Salesforce's website boasted over 50,000 success stories. But one person raised their hand and said, well, they don't show you any failures. And everyone laughed and disregarded the rest of the presentation. But you see, when you have 50,000 success stories, the failures, which are important as learning experiences, don't actually matter in terms of running a viable business. You can run a successful business with many failures since you can't possibly please everyone. There are people that absolutely hate Apple products, and if you listen to them, you would soon hate Apple products too, but that doesn't mean Apple can't be the largest and most successful company in the world. In terms of Tesla insurance, I don't think Tesla would be working to expand to every state in the country if this business was fraught with problems, and they're actually looking at their own data, and at the same time they continue to improve the product. Next, Ben Sullins has a big problem with Tesla's humanoid robot announcement. He wants to know how is this related to the mission, and Sullins says either Elon is lying or has no idea what's going on in the company. Now, I would say very simply that Sullins has no idea what's going on in the company, and I also don't see what Elon would be lying about by saying that the company wants to work on this robot. Elon has quite the track record at this point, and there's a history of people not understanding what he's up to, only to realize later on that Elon was right and they were wrong. Now, I partially understand Sullins' concern here, but I don't see it as an issue. At any time, there are many side projects going on at Tesla, many of which will actually never see the light of day, and some of which, if you saw them, you would say, why are they working on this? It makes no sense. And you might be right. But this is absolutely critical for innovation. You simply have to let people try new things all the time and keep failing until you get something right. Now, it just so happens that for the Tesla bot, Elon seems to really like this idea. It certainly has a massive potential, and Tesla does have all of the pieces, design, manufacturing, software capabilities, to actually try and make something here. Sullins thinks that this isn't aligned with Tesla's mission of sustainable energy, but it really is. It's just a much longer term thinking. If you had a working Tesla bot today, it could help in the factory. As a matter of fact, it could service your car, it could safely install solar panels on your roof, and a host of other things. So this could be very big and is very much aligned with Tesla's current mission. But because it's still far out, Tesla is currently using it as a means to attract more talent to the company. And so I don't think Tesla is losing focus of their mission in any way. They're certainly not stopping to make sustainable products. Actually, they're doubling down on it this year, focusing on scaling them. Now, Sullins goes on to make some pretty crazy accusations. At one point, he suggests that Tesla may be paying Consumer Reports for their high rankings, but also not paying them enough for their low rankings. I mean, Tesla doesn't even pay to advertise their own products, so this is another straw man argument, and I believe Sullins knows that this is the case. He says that Elon isn't likable because he's a maniac, putting up memes and stuff. Has this guy checked Elon's Twitter follower count lately? He says he knows a lot of people that would love to own Teslas but can't stand Elon. Well, good for them. As a matter of fact, the argument can be made the opposite way too, where I know people that don't like Teslas but they like Elon, so they bought a Tesla. It seems that Sullins may have had some sort of bad emotional experience and made a very incoherent video to very poorly convey his point. Now, it looks like his core issue is that he's really trying to insult Tesla and Elon, perhaps to indirectly draw attention to the service department. That seems to be his main concern. Sullins provides a few anecdotes of his friends having issues with Tesla service. So everything he said up until now is a straw man argument to make it seem like something is wrong with the entire company because he's upset about his friend's last service visit. The crux of the matter appears to be that there's long wait times for things like repairs and service, and that this is destroying Tesla, perhaps what he means when he says that the company is rotting from the inside out. But that doesn't seem to make much sense. I think Tesla is well aware that service has been a weakness for the company. However, Elon Musk has addressed this in the past, and Tesla has been focusing on improving these bottlenecks. In the most recent quarter, they actually grew store and service locations by 25% year over year, so they're trying to put up service centers as fast as they can. Keep in mind that these aren't just buildings, they also need to be staffed with people who need to be trained or have the knowledge to fix electric cars. And there's also an element of making sure that any and all parts are readily available at these new locations and the existing ones. Teslas also barely need any maintenance, so that's keeping a lot of cars out of the service centers, and yet they're still backed up. One initiative that Tesla has added on top of service centers is the mobile service fleet, which grew at an even higher rate of 43% and is double the size of service centers, since many issues can be fixed using this van service and it avoids a service center visit. This is pretty impressive and is occurring while Tesla is also balancing the supercharger side of the equation, which they grew at 35%. Otherwise, Ben Sullins would be complaining about superchargers. But it's important to realize that when the company is growing vehicle deliveries at an astounding 87% clip, there just has to be growing pains. There's no other car company growing this fast in the world. And if you look at the established automakers who don't grow at all and have had 100 years to set up their dealerships, their service experience is usually on par with an ultra-expensive, nerve-wracking dentist visit. Now, while I can also find you plenty of anecdotes of extremely good Tesla service experiences, Sullins wants Tesla to change how the entire company operates in order to focus purely on service. He suggests that Tesla should stop working on full self-driving and also cancel the Tesla robot in order to focus on service. The reason why service is bad, Sullins goes on to say, is that Elon Musk's compensation package is tied to service, and therefore Tesla is short-sighted. Wow, boy am I glad that Sullins doesn't work for Tesla. So let me get this straight. He wants Tesla to cancel the futuristic robot and the forward-thinking full self-driving development, but claims that Tesla is short-sighted. And does he realize that Tesla's artificial intelligence team probably doesn't want to be redirected to work for the service department? That doesn't make any sense. The company has over 100,000 employees. Sullins isn't completely wrong about service, however, but he's willing to throw out the entire long-term business to focus solely on one short-term problem. He believes that if service is bad, it's going to lead to the spread of negative sentiment about Tesla. I don't disagree, but it looks like he's the one trashing Tesla and saying he's doing it because he's worried that people are going to trash Tesla. This sort of rage doesn't really add any value to the company. I think it creates unfounded fear, uncertainty, and doubt around Tesla for no reason. Sullins covers this up by saying that he's a huge fan of Tesla, but based on his ideas, it doesn't sound like he wants what's best for the company. I think if he wants service to be better, he could have phrased his video in a different way and perhaps asked if Elon Musk could comment on the progress that Tesla has made so far and on any new initiatives for further improving service. He also cites poor quality, but according to Sandy Munro teardowns of Tesla vehicles, he's in awe of the cars, and overall people seem to absolutely love their Teslas, and demand is at an unprecedented level. Even Consumer Reports, which basically hates Tesla, still has to give them the top spot. Ben Sullins closes by saying, "Are you a fan of the mission or a fan of the stock?" And again, I don't need to choose. I can be a fan of both. If the company does well, the stock will do well too. In the same way that Tesla can continue to improve service while making and scaling great products for the future. It sounds like Ben Sullins has run out of patience and is willing to sacrifice the entire company to get what he wants. So do you think that Ben Sullins is right about any of the points he brings up? Or let me know in the comments if you disagree with anything that he said. Please hit the like button and subscribe. We would really appreciate that. And a huge shout out to all of our patrons that help to support our channel. Your support helps us to continue to make great content. Thank you guys so much for watching.